Yeah, let's just redo this all over again. Hello everybody. Hi Emma, Sigerboy, Steven, Jollum. Is that what we're calling that pod crasher? That was a nasty pod crash. What mask? What mask, Mark? I don't know what you're talking about. My name's Justin. I'm with the OneRing.net. This is Torn Tuesday, your weekly dose of all things Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, books, movies, games. I'm Justin. I'm wearing some stuff I'm not supposed to. This is a gold foil, by the way. You see how foil it is?
That is very foil and very nice.
Yeah, it's very foil. I've been trying to figure out how to do a foil on the One Ring. The problem is that the One Ring has that inscription that we like to see. And when I do the foil on the ring, the inscription doesn't show very well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So I don't know if I'll be able to do a gold foil. But
you're talking about things that people might not understand quite yet. You mean upcoming T-shirt designs that are going to be exclusively available at the OneRing.net booth at San Diego Comic-Con.
Exclusive.
That's what I thought I said. Hello, everybody. Hello, all my friends, and I'm so sorry to have been, unfortunately, trying to...
You were trying to get rid of that Gollum character that just came in and tried to crash our show.
That Gollum character was a mischief maker, a very bad mischief maker. But
yeah, we told him he's not allowed on this show. In fact, the chat room was very adamant. He is not allowed on this.
Indeed, and I'll support that decision by the live chatters. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the OneRing.net. This is take 2 of our weekly live show.
Yeah, we had to get rid of that.
First take.
Yeah.
Not the first take. So, welcome,
I was going to call him that,
nice
I was going to call him, we had to get rid of that Hobbit, but he's not a Hobbit. He's not a halfling. Is he a Harfoot or a Stoor or a Fallowhide?
You mean Gollum's original lineage? You know what? I think I knew this at one point in time.
Oh my god. Chat room! Let's see if you can know before Cliff Broadway knows.
You mean Smeagol?
Smeagol.
I think Smeagol was, and his family, his cousin Deagle, and his grandma, his grandmother, who was head of the tribe, and she's the one who kicked him out of the tribe. So let me think if I can remember whether Smeagol was associated with the Stoors, or the Fallowhides, or the let's see. We're gonna ask our friends in the live chat. Of course we are. We're definitely gonna ask them. Hi, everybody. The Stoors. Thank you. The Stoors.
So he was a Stoor, not so the Harfoots.
Mm-hmm.
The Harfoots that the Rings of Power TV show is going to feature are those are the ones that are related directly to the hobbits that are in the Shire, and not related to the halflings that Smeagol comes from. Is that correct?
Vaguely. I mean, there were different populations of migratory movements of the earlier Hobbit people before they did settle down in the Shire.
So, again, the Harfoots are related to...
Yeah. I want to say hi to everybody in the live chat. Hello. I can see all of our lovely people there in the YouTube chat. And thank you again for joining us on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter, and Twitch, and everywhere else that we're at. And hello, YouTube chat. Nice to have you here. I guess it is now up to me to go and pull my book. My book from the shelf. But then again, I'm afraid.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to show our first. This show today, we're going to give you a little sneak preview of some of the merch that is coming to Comic-Con exclusively. It's the only place you can get it. We don't have an online store right now, so this is Comic-Con merch. So while Cliff go gets the book, I've got a little video preview straight from the factory floor. Let's show this. We're gonna have, for the first time ever, 24 karat gold plated.
Oh my!
One Ring. You're getting your book, Cliff.
Yeah, but I want to see this. Show me.
Well, you're gonna see it. We're gonna have several hundred. That is a sneak peek. You're the first guys to see this. You're our hobbits or halflings, guys and girls, boffins and brace girdles. You're the first to see this. So we will have, for the first time ever, long requested. For 20 years, people have been requesting this from us, and here it is. We are having 24 karat gold plated One Ring logo pins. So hope you guys are really excited about some of the stuff we're going to have this. Dr. Nosy accurately says that the Discord got a preview of this a few days ago, and this is true. So if you want to stay on the up, well, I'm talking like the latest news, stuff that we don't even post on Facebook and Twitter. You want to be in our Discord. It's there on the screen right there. It's in the description below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I'm telling you, if you want to be in the know as soon as news breaks, as soon as new photos emerge, before it's even posted to Reddit, stuff is posted on our Discord. It is the #1 fastest way to get Lord of the Rings information, the Discord. So everybody is in the chat room is waving hi at the from the Discord. But I love seeing your chats from YouTube and everything else. So Discordia, yes. So that was the first sneak peek at what we're bringing to Comic-Con. People have been asking for 20 years, and it's finally time. It's the first Comic-Con in 3 years, and we're really excited to be coming. So, Cliff, you are knee deep in the book. So as soon as you find that, just holler. I'm gonna keep it going.
Yeah, actually,
Lincoln in the chat room says, yes, the stores, according to the book I just checked by David Day.
It says here that it is in the Third Age, okay? It's in the Third Age when the Balrog appears in Moria in the year 1980. That's 1980. It also says down here in the year 2470, it says about this time, Smeagol, Gollum, hides in the Misty Mountains. So somewhere up here, look, in 2340, it says Isumbras the First becomes the 13th Thane, and the first of the Took line. The old Bucks occupied Buckland. So at this time, the Shire was already settled. Oh, okay, I'm way further down into the Third Age. Oh, okay, here we go. I just found it. Check this out.
Okay.
Check this out. It says, in the Third Age, believe me, I know that the comparison is that we're constantly talking about Amazon making these events happen in the Second Age when there isn't really an accounting by the elves, the elves who were, the historians of these historical records, right? So the elves were not keeping a specific track of where the stores and the Harfoots and the Fallowhides were running around. But they do take note of it here in the Third Age. And it says, in the year 1150, the Fallowhides enter Eriador. The stores come over the Redhorn Pass and move to the Angle, or to Dunland. And this is pretty much the area that previously had seen so much havoc during the war of the elves and Sauron. And that does happen in the Second Age, and it does have to do with the rings, and Sauron being very, very pissed off that, they made 3 rings, and Celebrimbor would not give them up, not relinquish them. And so Sauron made war on all the elves in Eregion. This all happens in the Second Age, and I would ostensibly think that we're going to get to see the details of this multi-year battle in the TV show, maybe in later seasons of the TV show. But here in the actual book, in Appendix A, I'm sorry, I'm in Appendix B, excuse me. It says the Fallowhides enter area door in 1150. And then a little while later, it says in 1300, that's 150 years later, it says the Perianath migrate westward and many settle at Bree. So they were settling in the Bree land area before they settled into the Shire. And this is all Third Age stuff. And it included all three groups, literally. They're joined by the stores. So the stores joined them, and it's all right here. The Fallowhides were first, and then it says later on, many Perianath in the year 1601, in the Third Age, many Perianath migrate from Bree and are granted land beyond the Branduin River by Argaleb II, the mortal man who was the king of the North at the time. How about that? Okay, so here it is. So now that we've got that sorted out, to answer your question, there was one movement, and then there was another migration movement, and it happened over centuries. But they don't have the luxury of doing that in this TV show, do they? From what we understand, and from what we have been reporting all along, there's going to be so much time compression that even though historically the elves were noting the migrations of the Stores and the Fallowhides and the Harfoots way in the Third Age, it seems that the Second Age, they're going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey and have unrecorded or unofficial, because it was never officially recorded by the elves, but they're going to have them migrating and being part of the story, obviously, in the Rings of Power. So it's all going to happen.
So
it's all going to happen.
Episode 5, season 5. Where do you want the Harfoots to end at the end of this series?
Where do I want the Harfoots to end at the end of this series?
Yes.
It would be appropriate, I think, for them to end up not in the Shire, because they didn't even settle into the area east of the Shire until the Third Age. So maybe it would be cool to see them wandering towards Bree. That'd be kind of cool to see them going a little bit further westward, and then maybe they find, the area of Chetwood. And people will know these locations are never mentioned, not in Peter Jackson's movies, but these are locations in the books. Chetwood and the hillside around Archet, Chetwood, and Bree. That would be cool to have all the proto-hobbits settling in the area just east of the river. That'd be really cool.
Okay.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
And then we know it would break lore. It would be a total breaking of Second Age into Third Age if they had some human king give them the lands of the Shire suddenly on the other side of the river. That's all Third Age stuff, just like we mentioned here in the appendix. Is my poster crooked? No, my poster isn't crooked.
It's just the camera. It's kind of
the camera
angle.
Yeah, the camera's really making everything look kind of wonky because, oh, look at that. That's a lovely shirt design. Look at that. What do you think of that?
Everybody wants a ring.
Everybody. So is that one of the styles where you were considering putting a gold foil on the shirt design?
Yes. Yeah, the problem is that when you put a gold foil on it, it just makes everything solid, and you lose the detail and the gradation and the text. It's just solid gold. So I don't think the gold is going to work. But if some older fans might like, no, I'm not going to show this one yet. Hold on. All right, so there it is, the final Durin's Folk family reunion.
Oh, how very nice.
Durin's Folk, we incorporated a lot of feedback from the community. Again, Discord has been helpful in designing a lot of these shirts. So if you want to input on the merch that Torn makes, you have to be in our Discord. But so I just want to call out.
Do the call out, please. Yeah, tell us how much.
Right there, Durin's Folk. So Cliff, there's a chapter called Durin's Folk, right?
Okay.
There's a chapter called Durin's Folk, correct?
there's a section of the appendices called Durin's folk.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it comes from the appendices.
Yeah.
The dwarves fell from a star, correct? A shooting star. They arrived by a shooting star.
The dwarves arrived by a shooting star. What?
Right.
No.
And no.
What?
Hold
What are you
on.
talking about?
Oh wait. Did Discord get it wrong? What?
Shooting
what?
star.
What does a star have to do with the dwarves? Let me ask the chat room.
Well, the stars were reflected in the mirror when
They awoke from the stars. Wait, that doesn't make sense. They awoke under the stars? We all wake under the stars.
the elves awoke under the stars.
That's right, not the dwarves. The dwarves came via like a shooting star, yeah? Something there's
No, there's no shooting star. What are you talking about? You
Why
made
did
the
this
statement that I'm correcting you. Shooting stars are not, to my knowledge, tied with the dwarven creation mythology. The shooting star? Am I missing something, kids?
the dwarves were created from the earth.
Yes, the dwarves were created from.
Oh, wait.
They were created under the mountains by the Valar.
Okay.
Ole, who was trying to, make his own kind.
All right,
He was-
so that is Gil-galad's
Well,
elvish spear.
that is Gil-galad's elvish spear.
That is Durin's axe.
Yeah, that's
that
Durin's
is a
axe.
dragon tail. There are dwarf runes right there that spell Durin the Deathless. Shout out to Discord for figuring that out. Durin the Deathless. So it really is like the Durin's Folk Family Reunion. Cliff, we originally made something like this for the Hobbit movies 10 years ago when the Hobbit movies came out.
Yes.
And I, an unread man, did not understand the reference. Did not understand the reference because I'm like, all right, there's 13 dwarves and Bilbo, and none of the dwarves are named Durin. What does this have to do with the Hobbit? And you're just like, people that read would get it. Well, now I understand because Durin is in Rings of Power. So I understand this reference, finally. It took 10 years, and I finally understand Durin's Folk Family Reunion. This Rings of Power show is the first official Durin's Folk Family Reunion. So thank you, Amazon, for finally making me recognize this. So that's that. Let me see if I can find another one.
Yes. Okay. But instead of
That's
saying
all I want to
anything-
show you today.
just don't say anything about shooting stars, because people are going to think that that's connected to Meteor Man, and we don't even know what the hell that is yet. We don't know what the Meteor Man thing is, and I don't want to cause any confusion. Obviously.
All right. Should we show them? This is the final thing I'm going to show you. I have more stuff to announce for Comic-Con, but this is the final thing I'll show you. And Cliff.
Yes, please show me.
I didn't see your face when you saw this, so I want to see your face.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is the most amazing. I love that. That takes the Spider-Man meme to the whole next level. Look, there's the Ralph Bakshi Gandalf on the left, and even earlier, the Rankin and Bass Gandalf that was
With
voiced by-
tassels.
with that. Oh yes, look! Oh my god, his scarf, and he was from the Hobbit cartoon, the animated Hobbit, and they're all pointing at each other. And there's the Ian McKellen Gandalf. That is the best. That is the coolest, funniest shirt. That's really funny. I love that. I think that's hilarious.
I don't like it on tan, and I don't like it on black. Are there
I'm
any? Are there any other colors that you people wear in the chat room?
You don't like it on black? It doesn't look right on black?
I need fewer black T-shirts in my wardrobe. I'm trying to broaden our color space. I know a lot of people don't look good in anything but black, but there's got to be a dark color that you like. Forest green, maybe. Charcoal gray. I like that, Tookish.
But the charcoal gray is a great idea. Putting it on a charcoal gray would be excellent.
How about a blue, like a baby blue, light blue? This is a
No.
nice color.
No,
No?
light blue.
You don't like that?
Do you know what else? Do you know what else I'm kind of fond of? I like the t-shirts that you rarely see that go into that brick color, that dark red. You know, if you can find a maroon, dark red, or a brick red, not so different from this type of brick red that's on the poster right behind my shoulder. Okay, I think that'd be really cool to see all the blue and the gray of those different Gandalfs. That is the most hilarious design ever. I swear. I'm going to tell the audience right now. Justin showed me that design a week ago, and I almost fell over. It was brilliant. I really thought that was a great design.
I've got military green, burgundy, and charcoal gray.
Okay.
You guys you want something darker than this?
I was thinking a more rust. That's way too like
rust.
Red. Yeah, I mean like a
do you like
rust?
Military green? Charcoal gray? Charcoal gray I like.
I do like that. Charcoal gray would be really nice, but I also kind of like, you know.
You want something darker than this?
More like a burnt orange, dark red orange. What's the best way to describe that? Umber. That's the word I'm looking for. Burnt umber. When I was a kid, we had that box of Crayola crayons, the big one, that had 64 different colors. I was always looking at those weird phrases. No, get rid of that pink shirt. That's ridiculous. We don't want that. Absolutely ridiculous. But the burnt umber and the dark brick colors, even if you have like a heather version. Oh yeah, now you're getting closer. Yes, sir.
This is a heather. Yeah. This is a heather brick.
Okay. All right, you're getting closer.
You like this?
I kind of like that. Yeah, I do. But let's just to see, you know, we'll have to see if you can do a test on, you know, I'd also like, I like the brown area. If you're going to leave the reds and go into brick or brown shirt colors with the blue decal, because there's Gandalf in blue and gray. And I think all those distinct blues and grays would probably contrast on, you know, a shirt that was a dark orange or a tawny brown, maybe.
Star Trek TNG red.
Yeah, see? Monica remembers the burnt umber crayon.
That is a bright red. That's the same color that I just pulled, like a cardinal.
Do what?
That's really? Like a cardinal red, like I just pulled.
You pulled a cardinal red? Well, I'd be more interested in the darker earth tones. I'm all about.
Let me ask you this: what
tones?
Look,
not today, obviously, but
the One Ring, the Lord of the Rings is full of colors of all, from all different walks of life. The greens of the forest and the greens of the Shire and the greens and the greens and the grays of
yes.
So
yes.
I just don't want to be. I don't want to be that booth with a bunch of black T-shirts. But maybe everyone in the chat room is like, dude, we only wear black. It hides everything. It hides everything. So
that's true.
If you guys just want black shirts, we can just bring black shirts. Oh, what about the colors of the soundtracks?
You know what? Garfa Mao is right on point. She said, how about that Two Towers red? You know, the Two Towers? Yes. Yeah, take a look at that color of the Two Towers.
So do you want shirts this green, this red, this blue, and this green? Is this what people like?
Yes.
And
yes.
Charcoal?
I tell you what, I think that Two Towers brick red is precisely
this color.
That's the color range I was trying to talk about the whole time. So, yeah.
Okay, stick to this palette. Stick to this palette.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually. I like that. So, don't we have some more, aside from all the San Diego Comic-Con merchandise, do we have any other news yet to tell the people about what's happening in Hall H? Is there any exclusive, no breakthroughs? No breakthrough in the news cycle?
You know,
Come on,
I
come
know a lot.
on.
I know a lot of people want to think that we are super tight with the studio and we are shills for Amazon and we know everything and we're not telling you. I'm telling you guys, Amazon won't tell us anything. We don't know what day anything is. Like when they announced that press release for Hall H, that was the first we'd heard of it. Right, Cliff? Like we didn't even know if they were going to have a panel. We got the One Ring will have 2 panels, one on Thursday morning and one honestly, on Sunday, and we thought that was going to be all the Lord of the Ring content. So until Amazon announced it to everyone at the same time.
I don't know if other people are getting the slow. I got a really distinct slow video and audio drag on you just now in the dialogue you were just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was hilarious. It was like somebody slowed down the record player to really slow.
Yeah. And we're back. We said that we were going to announce something on Friday. That got pushed to possibly this Friday. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, there's so many.
We don't have the news yet.
We don't have the news. We don't have the news. I'm hoping to release it this Friday. It's a lot of logistics going on. There's a lot of moving parts. We want to do something that everyone is going to have a good time with at Comic-Con or otherwise. I don't know. We're gonna look for stuff.
In the meantime, we want to drop a hint that it's worthwhile, and it'll be a big news item, and it'll be a lot of excitement and fun for everybody. So we definitely want to tell the viewership, everybody in our audience, stay tuned, okay? Because the news is going to be amazeballs when we reveal the news. Unfortunately, San Diego Comic-Con, there's no official schedule of Amazon's
this week
presence in Hall H.
It will be announced starting tomorrow. Thursday's schedule will be announced Thursday, and Friday's schedule will be announced Friday. My unbiased prediction is I saw that Game of Thrones might have a panel in Hall H on Friday. I predict that Amazon will have Hall H on Friday as well. I think Friday is Hall H for fantasy fans. If you like dragons and Balrogs and from every universe, I think Friday is gonna. But that is just my uninformed opinion. But we will find out 3 days from now on Comic-Con's official website. Starting tomorrow, they're gonna be making all the final announcements of all the panels and the schedule. So we will be able to confirm on Thursday and Friday when our panels are going to be, when Hall H panel's going to be, and I'm telling you, we've got some stuff. Oh man, Cliff, you know what we have. Our panel is gonna not. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I promise you, it will not be live streamed for a reason. You do not want to miss the One Rings Thursday panel, if that's what it's going to be, because we've got some. We've got some good stuff. We've got some good stuff. And our Sunday panel is going to be amazing.
We can't really tell you about it yet. We cannot tell you. Oh, sugar. Do you know how much I just want to spill the beans right now? I want to spill the beans. I know. I won't. I cannot spill the beans, but I really want to. I really do want to.
Hey, if
Comic-Con is going to be amazing.
If the orcs have a joke in Rings of Power about spilling the beans, would you be offended?
No.
Because that implies that they have beans, that they cultivate beans.
I just want the whole cafe. I want orcs in a cafe so they can look at the menus and understand what the menus are. That's all I want. All I want is orcs in a cafe ordering, a fruit tart and a little demi-tasse. Maybe
consistency, bridges to the third age. Orc coffee sounds interesting. Cliff, it's halfway through the show. I want to pause and let's get a little serious for a minute. Because
how could we possibly do that? That does happen on the odd occasion. Yes.
Well, there was this Reddit thread. Let me see if I can bring it up. Cliff, this is in the big Lord of the Rings subreddit, that one of the biggest communities, second only to Rings of Power.
Yes.
And someone asked, are the OneRing.net a bit too enthusiastic about Rings of Power? There is not a single negative article there. He says
because
and so let you go ahead and respond.
Because there aren't any positive articles specifically either. There's just a lot of articles. There's a lot of articles that are just news and buzz. Buzz is building just because we're reporting on the marketing efforts and the fact that they're getting buzz to build on the show. That's not praise. That is not to be confused with being in the pocket or in the side of pro Rings of Power. I would be very happy to be more in the side of making pro statements, pro Rings of Power, but honestly, I haven't seen the show, and I'm gonna just like Matt from Nerd of the Rings says, with great wisdom, he says, I'm gonna reserve judgment until I actually see the program. I'll reserve judgment until then. So that's just my take.
I will argue that actually, if you look at all of the torn the posts on the website, the OneRing.net, not our Twitter feed or Facebook, but the posts on the website, which have editorial guidance and everything, you will see, if you go back and read everything about Rings of Power, you will see we've actually been more negative on the show than almost every other blog, all the way back to Cliff's wonderful essay on nudity, and we kick things off.
My emphatic, my gut punching, emphatic screaming into the wind that I did about insisting that there be no sex or nudity in anything in the series. Yeah, that was, perhaps that was a little bit unnecessary for me to take tone at the time.
It wasn't. It was necessary.
We were in a vacuum of not having any real knowledge of what was going on, and we were just making proper inferences, inferring from the clues that were there.
Right, and it's not just you. Demosthenes posted an amazing article 6 months ago about in the wake of the Super Bowl trailer about art or cash. And basically pulled from research and stated Tolkien was a capitalist, like all should in Western world. And, Tolkien himself was like, if you don't give me autonomy, then give me cold hard cash, and a lot of it. So you could imply that, that Torn is taking a stance of like, this is a cash grab, Like, let's be honest. If Tolkien was alive and someone rolled up with a truck full of $250 million, yeah, absolutely, he probably would have taken it.
I think the only thing that I've been saying over and over again on my social accounts on Twitter has been things of incredible ambivalence. Anybody who knows me has noticed how strangely ambivalent I have been about the Rings of Power. You can see it in my tweets when I say we, as a collective fandom, are sitting at the intersection of a major literary legacy and a billion-dollar pop culture juggernaut. And we're sitting right in the middle of the intersection of these two things, and it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit interesting, so let's watch and wait and see what's going to happen, because it is going to be interesting.
Cliff, let me ask you this.
That's about it.
Has the hate machine refined through Star Wars fandom and YouTube algorithms, has the hate machine polluted the idea of negative discourse? If you, let's say you don't like the show, and you post a 1,000-word review on all the ways that the pilot, directed by J.A. Bayona, fails at respecting Tolkien. Are you afraid, as an author, as a critic, are you afraid of being lumped in with those hate tubers that are just bottom barrel? We all know what they focus on when they criticize a show. Are you afraid to be lumped in with those?
No, not at all, because I have a track record of never being in alignment with that kind of a toxicity. So no, I have no fear of that. Look, if you're
do you think there's a question from the chat? Do you think when people say on that Reddit, people say, I'm noticing a lack of negative posts, do you think negative has come to align with those very toxic elements?
Well, you know what? It might need further clarification. If someone on the subreddit is just taking a look and, what's the barometric pressure in the room right now? Is it really negative? Not really, but wait until the show comes out, and then we'll have a lot more to talk about. We'll have a lot more to discuss about the steps that they took in the adaptation and what they decided to add in, what they decided to leave out. And I have, I think that the litmus test for intelligent and real thoughtful fan conversation is just going to be, have an awareness of the company that you keep online, basically. That's where we are these days. You need to have an awareness of the company you keep online and, who you're talking to in these forums and on the Discord. And we certainly have a wonderful, healthy, and open-handed, energized community. It's a very energized community, and they're very open-handed, like I keep saying. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be great to actually say, the show succeeded X, Y, and Z, but it really failed on, A, B, and C. And if you're going to compare those factors, people in the room, in the forum, and on the message boards are all going to understand that you're making your arguments and your criticism in good faith. If you're not making your arguments in good faith, the chances are that people can smell that a mile away. So,
I do appreciate that some people with long memories in that Reddit thread were nice enough to say that the One Ring has always been accused of being too movie friendly. And we did get a lot of criticism 20 years ago because we were so rah about Peter Jackson's movie Sight Unseen, when a lot of other fan sites and a lot of other communities were just like, hey, wait, hold on. What is this Arwen stuff? There's no Glorfindel. They got rid of Tom Bombadil in Fellowship of the Ring. They're taking out whole chapters of Fellowship of the Ring and just throwing them in the trash. Like, how can you honestly be a fan and support Peter Jackson's film? This is a disgrace that he is wholly erasing key fundamental parts of Tolkien's writing. That's what we heard 20 years ago.
Yeah, and we're going to hear it again this September. That's okay. And that's fine too. I want to remind everyone in our audience, that's fine. That's okay to to be able to say, I love what they managed to do, and I really regret at the same time what they didn't manage to do. That's fair. Hey, that's fair. That's totally fair.
And as we've shown on the last couple episodes, there's a history of the internet being toxic to actors that they don't like, and movies before they come out. Even Peter Jackson's film had. I'm telling you that when Fellowship came out, there were so many people that hated it that going into the Two Towers and the significant changes, and especially elves at Helm's Deep, you would not believe. Like, all of this stuff about Rings of Power right now pales in comparison to the vitriol on our message boards and across the internet about elves at Helm's Deep and how that was ruining the core ending of the whole freaking trilogy.
The real crisis was when Faramir took Sam and Frodo and Smeagol to Osgiliath.
Well, we didn't even see that until the movie came out. I'm talking before Two Towers came out. And then they showed us the trailer, and Gandalf the White steps out in the first trailer. And we're like, what are you guys doing? That is the biggest surprise of the whole book. Why did you just ruin this? You spoiled the whole thing.
Big spoilers, yeah.
So, the Two Towers
then
is
they had
probably
to put Ian McKellen on the poster. They couldn't release the film without Ian's face on the poster, and New Line Cinema was like, look, people, this book came out in 1954, so...
Right.
Right.
I have, and then as we move on to this next thing, I have a mea culpa to make. I have an apology to make because several months ago I tweeted something that was just out of line. It was a bad joke at a bad time and a bad taste. I thought there was a Twitter prompt. I thought it was joking, but it cut a little too deep. So we apologize then. Not good enough. We apologize further today when a couple people rightfully brought it up and said, "Hey, you still have penance to pay for that." So I want to say that was my tweet, and it was bad. And I'm sorry that we shouldn't have been saying that. We fight the fight, and we don't want to be like all of those other YouTube channels and those tweets that get those Twitter accounts that get like 5,000 likes for every racist, bigoted comment that they can think of. They wake up in the morning and said, what are 5 racist things that I can think of with Lord of the Rings that I don't like? And then they tweet 2 of them. We're not like that. We want to call it out. And when we poked fun at it sarcastically by pretending to be like that for a tweet, we shouldn't have. So, it's... But...
I remember that. I remember that. What you were doing at the time was to try to make it sound like a parody of the most obnoxious of those accounts, but it looked like it was coming right out of our voice, as if we, the OneRing.net, were saying that as a community. And the ironic, the ugly digging, because you were making an ugly dig at the most obnoxious accounts that sound like that. But you stepped your foot in it badly, but that's where the rubber meets the road. Because instead of throwing down ugliness with even more ugliness, you have been able to actually step up and take responsibility and respond with some intelligence and grace with what you're trying to say. And I appreciated the joke when you made it, but I also appreciated how wonky it was wonky. But I also have to say that we're all in this together ultimately, and it's all about learning and being better the next time. Learning. If you learn something and you're not going to be any better the next time, then no, son, you haven't learned anything. So the fact is that you've learned and are now really presenting yourself correctly. And if you want to come correct, you're ready to do that now. So
I was ready to do that. I was ready to do that then, and I think part of it is I just didn't have the language to do it right. And what it comes down to, I did not know what to say. The Twitter prompt, I think we absolutely deleted the tweets, but we deleted a lot of our commentary off of it because it's like let's just get it behind. And what I found today was that wounds don't heal unless they're healed correctly. And the Twitter prompt was post your most cancelable book take. That was the Twitter prompt from some random account. Post your most cancelable book take. Basically saying get canceled on Twitter today. And I won.
I won the crappiest take. And you offered the ugliest.
The ugliest.
And most, you offered up the most toxic and ugly take. And it was too ugly. So there it was.
And it was cancelable. It was cancelable. And we got canceled. Yeah. But today, 5 months later, we're still seeing that there's hurt in the community. And I don't want that.
We don't want that.
And I'm sorry that the One Ring's name and brand was used in that manner to instill a cause of fear in any section of fandom. And so, like, the other thing, and this is top of mind, and the stuff, and we're gonna come correct at Comic-Con. I promise you guys. This is related to some of the stuff we're doing at Comic-Con. We're not ready to announce yet because they haven't published a schedule. But next Torn Tuesday, this week, Comic-Con's going to release the schedule. Next Tuesday, I'm going to explain how we're coming correct at Comic-Con, and we want to be a voice for all corners of fandom. And I think you guys are really going to appreciate the effort that we're putting in. Because at the end of the day, like, Twitter's gonna Twitter mobs, we deserved it. Sometimes we don't. We definitely don't deserve the woke hate, whatever. But actions speak louder than words. And at the end of the day, especially in this political environment that we're in, actions are everything. And the One Ring is coming to Comic-Con with actions, with people, and with voices, and with merch, and the whole shebang. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you all about it next week. But it's not just our part of fandom, because Cliff recently published, and I'm going to bring it up on Amazon, there's a new book by Robert Stewart called Tolkien, Race and Racism in Middle-earth. This is a newly published book. You can see right there, the hardcover is $131. It is a well-researched, very well-researched book that dives in deep to Tolkien's legacy, Peter Jackson's legacy, the legacy of Lord of the Rings in establishing fantasy tropes, and its place in the world then and the world now. This is an important book, folks. And
this is very interesting.
This is just released. And so let's go to a passage. Again, we're back on Reddit here. And someone in Tolkien Fans, another great subreddit, says, has anyone read Robert Stewart's new book on racism? Let me quote this from the book. The point of this study, however, has been to demonstrate that Tolkien's racist moments, however prominent they are in his literary legacy, and however challenging they may be to our battered sensibilities, in no way implicate the great author in the British fascism and imperialism of his time. Let me repeat that. Tolkien's racist moments in no way implicate the author in the British fascism and imperialism of his time, and that they certainly do not indicate any affinity with today's neo-Nazis or white supremacists, no matter what those racists may think.
Well, it's certainly not a side-by-side comparison like it is to H.P. Lovecraft, for example.
Yeah,
there is no comparison if you're looking at that.
Let me finish it. Those reveling racists who we are all familiar with on Twitter and YouTube are making merry with misreadings. Tolkien's dichotomies between white and black, between light and darkness, for instance, do indeed correlate with antitheses of divine good and satanic evil, often disturbingly embodied for evil in swarthy men, and for good in their fair antagonists. But on closer consideration, the Legendarium's color coding is clearly spiritual rather than racial. Whites are not vaunted, blacks are not denigrated. Lord of the Rings has no place in the library of the Ku Klux Klan.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Combine that with the actual historical record of Professor Tolkien letting the world know how he felt about a pernicious race doctrine, using his words to describe it, the pernicious race doctrine of the horrifying Nazi Reich movement during that period when they were asking for him to prove his German ancestry to get the approval of a German translation of The Hobbit. And, really quite interesting.
Again, this book recently published. It's available on Kindle edition as well, digital, for $30. Tolkien
That's it.
Race.
That's the affordable. That's the affordable edition.
Yeah, Tolkien Race
Right.
and Racism in Middle Earth. It is 500 pages, Cliff.
Oh, that's a long read. That's a lot of scholarship on that. Wow.
This is the definitive scholarship, the current definitive scholarship on this topic. And Cliff, we get a lot of questions from fans. Maybe they're young fans just coming up now and noticing. And a lot of questions in the last few months is like, has Tolkien fandom always been this toxic? They see the tweets, they see the hate tuber videos. You know, every time there's a drop of Amazon information, suddenly there's 10 videos on YouTube polluting the algorithm. You know, how Amazon is destroying Tolkien's legacy, and then you watch the video and it is just bottom barrel bigotry. It's just gross. And so people have been wondering, has this always been in Tolkien fandom? And the answer is, elements of this have always been in Tolkien fandom, going all the way back to the 1930s. And this book,
Yes.
if you really want to dive in, again, this book available on Kindle as well. But the second best-selling market for The Hobbit was not America. It was Nazi Germany in 1937. What was happening in Germany in 1937 to 1943? The worst. Okay?
The worst. Yeah.
But Tolkien didn't pull his books from Germany. Tolkien kept selling his books in Germany. The German people loved it. And
Indeed.
Tolkien speaks to everybody, okay? So it's not for us to deny anybody's fandom. And a lot of people, when they get into these YouTube debates, saying, you know, why are we attacking fans? No, we're not attacking fans. We're attacking bigotry. You know, if you're going to be racist and bigotry, I'm going to call you out all day. We didn't have time for it 20 years ago when homophobic comments showed up on our website constantly for 2 years. How gay Gandalf is going to ruin Tolkien's Catholic legacy. We're hearing the same garbage. So it's always been there, and this 500-page scholarship, well-researched book on scholarship on Tolkien, race and racism in Middle Earth. I mean, you can't. There is enough of it. There is enough of it from all aspects that someone could write this book. So it was always there. It's not going away. Someone else reading something into these books and Tolkien stories does not take away from what you read into it. And the whole thing Tolkien said categorically was that his books mean there's no broad allegory for anything. You bring your own perspective into these books. So what Cliff takes out of Lord of the Rings is totally different than what I will take out of it when I finally read it.
I agree with this. 100%. The idea of applicability was way, way higher up on Professor Tolkien's list of priorities for his written work, certainly than allegory. It was applicability. That's what it was all about. Understanding that generational readers would take a crack at opening up his book and get into it, and it would be applicable to them under different generational and cultural and societal circumstances and economic circumstances as well. So I definitely appreciate that very much. Well said, good sir. Well said.
So,
Well
you
said.
know, it's like, I feel bad.
Like I was just saying, allow me to finish this one last thought.
Yeah.
It is tied up with what Stephen R. just said in the YouTube chat. He said the social media and YouTube algorithm has had a profound, and I totally agree. It is a profound effect on how fast and how wide these bigoted ideas can spread to impressionable people and younger people. And this didn't exist in 2001. And yeah, it ties back into we didn't have those algorithms pushing all that crap on us in 2001. And now, like I said earlier in the show, you have to be a little bit more discerning when you're online, taking part in an online community. You really need to be more discerning about who you're surrounding yourself with online. Really.
Context is everything. And I guess what I didn't understand about my errored tweet is no matter the years of work that we've done, Cliff, as the One Ring, to support and celebrate Ian McKellen's casting, all the way up to Sophia Numviti's casting in this show, and all of the work we've done to support fans from all walks of life, that does not give us a pass to say nasty stuff, even if it is joke. We don't get a pass to joke about this stuff because it really hurts and it's really affecting fans. And there's a ton of fans right now that are not excited about Rings of Power. I believe it's not just one reason. It's a combination of there's been no information from Amazon. The official releases have been lackluster. Let's be honest. The leaks that, Cliff, you've been reporting on for 2 years have not inspired any confidence, whether it was the concentration camp visuals or kicking the directors off set, the showrunners off the set, or the nudity rumors. Like, everything that we've been reporting on as leaks has not inspired confidence. But I have to believe also part of it is you go to YouTube and there's 1,000 videos that hate on Rings of Power with pure skin color based hate, and it's just, I know Amazon has no control over what people say, but it is polluting people's minds. When all I want to do is go see a Rings of Power trailer on YouTube again, and I get hit with 10 YouTube videos of all the reasons why they're ruining, they're ruining Tolkien's legacy. It's the same tired old arguments that we heard 20 years ago. The gay Gandalf is going to ruin Tolkien's Catholic legacy. Swarthy. But as you just saw in that book from Robert Stewart, someone that has done incredible research on the topic of race and racism in Tolkien, he absolutely confirms, no doubt about it, 110%, that Tolkien and Tolkien's books do not go on any racist bookshelf.
And it doesn't just come from the statement of one piece of scholarship. It's something that is self-evident, I think, in Professor Tolkien's overall existing body of his works, all of his works. If you're looking for strong thematic power about multiculturalism, why don't you look at the Fellowship of the Ring first? That is one of your biggest thematic takes about the power of different races of people who otherwise would be biased or bigoted against each other, and they put aside a lot of their own grief, and they put aside their biases, and they put aside their own personal doubts about the political and power machinations of who's deciding to do what, and they put that stuff aside so that a group of very different people can come together and save a world. That's right.
That's right.
A group of different people got together and saved a world, and they were from all different possible walks of life. Oh, I mean, excuse me?
And they didn't like each other, by the way. Let's be clear.
Some of them did not like each other. Yeah.
No,
some of them did. Some of them really loved each other, like the hobbits, and the interracial. There was a lot of racial hate between elves and dwarves. There was a lot of hate between the men of the South, there was a lot of distrust between the men themselves. Yes.
So, like these are themes that Tolkien was not afraid of tackling, and meeting head on. So all I'm saying is, hey, another before I let you guys go, another big scoop for San Diego Comic-Con. We are excited to have the co-author of this book, Middle Earth Script to Screen. Again, another $240 hardcover book. How many pages is this? This, again, is 512 pages, so it's about the same size as Robert Stewart's Tolkien and Race book. This 500-page book, we have the co-author, Kelly Rice, coming at our booth. She'll be there to sign this book if you bring it. I couldn't get any copies to sell. So if you have this book and you want to bring it to Comic-Con, the author Kelly Rice will be there to sign it. Also, she will have her own books, which are kind of a dark fantasy as well. That's pretty exciting. And final excitement for you.
Oh yeah,
she's
written some beautiful things.
While I was on the subreddit today, folks, looking up this Robert Stewart stuff and this One Ring stuff, check this out. A fully realized warrior Galadriel cosplay. This is amazing.
Okay.
She is incredible. Look at the detail in the chainmail. She's got this twinkling stars in the chainmail. She's got the black, the much maligned, but screen accurate black shirt underneath, and black tights underneath. This is in the reads. Who says? Oh
wow! How about that? Cool.
She says Lauren does cosplay. Maybe you can look that up. Maybe she's on Instagram. Lauren does cosplay. This is exciting. Actually, let's click on her. Let's click on her bio. Let's see if we can find her Instagram.
That's really super cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. So, what a great cosplay. We hope to see some of this amazing Lord of the Rings cosplay, Rings of Power specifically, at San Diego Comic-Con. If Lauren is coming to Comic-Con with that cosplay, man, if I say anything more, I will spoil the big surprise. I gotta shut up. Cliff, you know what we're working on, Cliff. It's so exciting for you fans.
We cannot spoil it. Cannot spoil it. But hey, I would say everybody who's going to get a chance to be down there at San Diego that weekend, it's really going to be amazing. It's going to be so amazing.
It's going to be so amazing. We're really excited with the people that are coming to support the OneRing.net. So plan on being at our panels. They're going to start announcing the panels tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. All of the Comic-Con schedules are going to be announced this week. So next Tuesday, you and I can have a much more detailed discussion on things, because it will finally be public. It's been very frustrating that we're not able to share everything, but rules is rules, and they want to announce when they do. Rules. I love breaking rules,
but hey, we need to draw everybody's attention to the Italian Heritage Auction of unbelievably surprising original handwritten Tolkien manuscript that was just found. An ancient writings from antiquity from Professor Tolkien. Have we got that to pull up on the screen, Justin? Here it is. I'll read it straight from the front of our website. It's the discovery of a lifetime. A handwritten manuscript by J.R.R. Tolkien, penned by him and signed in 1964, has surfaced. This 9-page text, which Christopher Tolkien painstakingly recreated from memory, tells a mostly familiar story for readers of the Silmarillion in chapter 22. Yet, as this original manuscript for this part of the story, it contains new treasures to delight the serious Tolkien reader. Oh my, this is very exciting. It's way too expensive to bid on, though, don't you think?
Well, let's take a look. $15,000 opening bid.
That's a $15,000 $1,000 opening bid. There goes my life savings. Wow.
Oh, can I? Are you telling
okay.
me? Oh
This
my
is-
God! This is Tolkien's writing.
This is something I cannot read because it's Italian, but I'll do my best. The Italian Tolkien Society's group is called Associazione Italiana Studi Tolkieniani. Okay, let me try that one more time. The Associazione Italiana Studi Tolkieniani. I said that part wrong. Tolkieniani. They broke the news yesterday in this phenomenal write-up on their online website. And if you want to read it, we link to it. So you can come to our website at theonering.net.
So this is in Christopher Tolkien's handwriting. Is that's what you said, correct? This is Christopher Tolkien's.
No, this is J.R.R. Tolkien's handwriting, but it was memorized by memorized by his son.
Because this was
Yes.
thought lost. I'm just gonna read a section here from J.R.R. Tolkien's own hand. The other 2 Silmarils were also taken by the Valar from the crown of Morgoth, but the last surviving sons of Feanor, in a despairing attempt to carry out the oath, stole them again. But they were tormented by them, the Silmarils, and at last they perished, each with a jewel, one in a fiery cleft in the earth, and one in the sea. So 3 Silmarils were lost forever until the remaking of the world in air, earth, and sea. Thus ended the First Age.
Yep.
Cliff, wait, hold on. The sons of Feanor stole the 2 rings again, and they were tormented by them, by the Silmarils.
Yeah, the Silmarils were a pretty bad thing. In the end, it was a wonderful concept, but boy, it ended up being a very, very bad thing for everybody in the end.
He signed it Ronald Tolkien.
Yep. John Ronald Rule Tolkien.
Cliff, I'm just reading that and I'm freaking out right now because in the movies that I enjoy, the One Ring corrupts all who wear it, right? Gollum turns into Gollum. Smeagol turns into Gollum. Frodo is carrying a heavy burden. Everybody that has any amount of time with the One Ring is tormented by the ring. According to this letter, according to this thing that Tolkien wrote, the Silmarils did the same torment to the holders of those Silmarils. So you're telling me that Rings of Power
it wasn't exactly the same because the Silmarils themselves were not imbued with evil and the essence of Sauron's evil.
I don't believe that because we just read from Tolkien's own hand that the 2 Silmarils that were taken by Feanor, sons of Feanor, were tormented by those Silmarils. So I'm wondering when Sauron...
I'm wondering when you're going to read the Silmarillion so that you would know exactly what type of torment...
After this TV show.
Do you know that he's talking about a very different kind of torment?
He's
not talking about the torment that happened from Frodo having to carry Sauron's essence around his neck. No, this is the torment of making a blood oath against your other elven kindred because you wanted to have possession of the Silmarils.
But it said they were tormented into death, into fire, and death into sea.
Yep. Yeah, and he's talking about all the varied circumstances that happened in the Silmarillion.
Let me ask you this:
It happened tragically to those people involved with the Silmarils.
Coincidence?
Kind of torment.
No. I think it is the same kind of torment. And Cliff, I hope the TV show explores this. I hope that I want to ask you, Cliff. Does Sauron's magic that he imbues in the 20 Rings of Power, is that directly related to the power of the Silmarils?
No, not at all.
I don't believe you.
It's ridiculous.
I don't believe you.
Read the books. You can borrow mine. I have 3 copies of the Silmarillion. You can borrow one of mine if you'd like.
If the TV show goes that direction that I just described, would you be mad?
Yeah, that's absurd. That's ridiculous.
It's not absurd. It's not absurd.
Justin, take a look at what people are saying in the chat right now, please. Okay.
The power that Sauron imbues in the 20 rings.
19, and the answer is still no.
There are 20 rings.
There are 19.
There are 19 that are distributed, and then he holds one for himself. There are 20 rings total. Trust me, I've tried to say 19 on Twitter, and I got canceled because I don't know my lore. There are 20 rings. So Sauron's power that he imbues in these rings is directly related to whatever power or magic or whatever you want to call it that the Silmarils had. Because according to Tolkien, look, let me read this again, Cliff. From Tolkien's own hand, he says,
"Do me a favor and let me speak for a moment, okay? I'm gonna say this one more time.
I'm gonna put it on screen so people can read for themselves while Cliff talks."
The characters that he describes in that manuscript are tormented, and it is a truth. It is a profound, profound historical truth that these characters were tormented, but not because of any weird magical power that was imbued into the Silmarils. They were being tormented by a blood oath, okay? Tormented by a blood oath that caused civil war and bloodletting of an elf fighting against an elf. That's right, the kinslaying. Elves actually took up weapons against other elves and had a fight over the Silmarils.
Is any of that...
is the torment. That is the torment that he's talking about.
Is any of that in the appendices? Let me ask you this. The Tolkien estate and Amazon have made clear that they only have rights to expand on stories mentioned in the appendices of Return of the King. So, if everything you're describing in the Silmarillion, and Cliff, you were there, they looked you straight in the eye, did they not? Amazon looked you straight in the eye and said, stop talking about Silmarillion. We don't have rights to it. So,
yeah, they don't have rights to Silmarillion.
So, if they don't have full rights to kinslayings and blah, 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 and everything you just said, wasn't even paying attention, this means that the showrunners would have to concoct some sort of magic to imbue into these rings if they can't explore that whole history of Silmarils.
Well, the Silmarils and their history has nothing to do with the magical process of making rings of power. Period. They are not related in any conceivable way.
JD, Patrick, call me. I got ideas. Thank you, everybody. This is Torn Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday. We're going to have so much more to talk about Comic-Con. We think you're going to be really excited about some of the stuff we have to announce. It's going to be so much fun. And Cliff, you're going to be there the whole 5 days. I'm going to be there the whole 5 days. So many of the people in the chat room are going to be all 5 days. We appreciate you guys for watching this show because there was a competing live stream. Nerd of the Rings was interviewing Billy and Dom at the same time. So if you missed their show, you can check out Nerd of the Rings on YouTube.
Cool.
That's
so awesome.
He's been talking to Billy and Dom for the last hour,
that's so exciting.
And vice versa.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah.
It's so exciting. So thank you all for your patience and for your love and kindness and your being polite in the chat room. As you can see, it is a big risk. It is a big risk to put this chat on the screen every week. And I appreciate that you guys keep it friendly and you keep it calm and you keep it to the lore and you yell at me when I deserve to be yelled at, and so does Cliff.
You're so funny. Thank you, Justin, for co-hosting with me and for the gentle persuasion that you try on me to tell me that the Silmarils are somehow tangentially related. But no amount of persuasion, no, it's not going to happen. The process of making rings is something that like in making Horcruxes, we got more conversation in the Harry Potter books about how Tom Riddle was making Horcruxes. But Professor Tolkien does not give us like a magical process or a recipe or, like a Dungeons and Dragons list of components and elements that make magic rings magic rings. He doesn't even describe it. It is.
I know, that's why Sauron is. That's why Sauron is so powerful. That's why Sauron is Sauron, because he figured it out, and no one has described it. Let me ask you this, Clip: how did Galadriel make that little vial that she gives to Frodo? Isn't that the power of the Silmarils? So obviously, this magic process exists, and Galadriel figured it out. And this also connects to, if Sauron uses the magic of the Silmarils to power his rings, Galadriel also figures out the process because she's really tight with Sauron, and she imbues the light of the Silmarils into her water. Thank you very much. That is my headcanon.
Only the light of Erindil, which is like in the water. I don't know how she got the light of Erindil in the water.
That's right, you don't.
Tolkien doesn't explain how that happened, but the water was put into the phial, and the phial is what she gave to Frodo. But this is so silly. It's like all of it is reflective of the light of the two trees. Everything in the Silmarils is about the two trees. It has nothing to do with whatever Horcrux or power source Sauron is using to convince Celebrimbor to make rings. It is not related, but we can talk more about this on future shows.
Sure. As soon as you figured out how Galadriel made that powerful light of Elendil water, we'll also figure out how Sauron imbues his rings, and it's not Horcruxes.
Oh my gosh! I'm looking at the chat, the YouTube chat, and they're just having a day. That's hilarious. You guys are so funny.
Tolkien waffled on the idea of the Arkenstone as a Silmaril. We had this debate when The Hobbit came out, because this show has been on 10 years. We've been doing the show so long we were arguing about Hobbit lore. The Arkenstone officially is not a Silmaril, but in my head canon, it is in the cinematic universe. Thank you very much, J.D. Patrick. Call me.
I don't even know what to say. You know what? J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, if you give Justin a phone call, I swear to God, it better not be about explaining to him about the Silmarils. Let him read the bloody book and he can find out on his own, all right? We're going to say good night, everybody. It is about 6:30 Pacific time. We've been having a wonderful show, a very, very great, really great and enlightening conversation, and I'm very happy to have all of our usual suspects come and join us on all the different chats. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Varking and John Ben Asher and everybody helping us do the Discord. And I want to say thank you to Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everybody. Thank you for being with us. Another inspiring Torn Tuesday. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get you an audiobook and make you just sit down and listen to the audiobook of the Silmarillion. I'm going to make you do that, Justin. I'm just going to make him do it. You guys are amazing. Thanks for being with us in the live chat. And thank you for the t-shirt feedback. Really nice to have feedback on the shirts before they all get printed out for San Diego Comic-Con. Until next Tuesday, well, we're just going to have to wait until then, because we're going to have big news.
Join the Discord if you want to know first. Join the Discord.
Exactly, sooner than anybody's going to know anything. He's right. He's right. Join the Discord, okay? Until then, we'll see you next week on Torn Tuesday, right here, 5 o'clock Pacific time. Next week, it'll be exciting and adventurous and mischievous, I'm sure. I'm Clifford Broadway. That's Justin Sewell. You can follow me on my social accounts at QuickBeam2000 on Instagram and Twitter, and take a look at the One Ring Net. Just take out the dot. You can find the One Ring Net on all of our social channels. Thank you again, everybody. Until next week, please be gentle with yourselves and be kind to one another like you always do. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Good night and good luck. Or better yet, buenas noches y buena suerte. Bye, everybody.
The kinship of the half-elven.
You are so crazy, pants.